From the depths of rot and decay they rise. The death god marches under sickened skies. With boils and blight they spread the pain. In Nurgle's name disease will reign. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. From the depths of rot and decay they rise. The death god marches under sickened skies. With boils and blight they spread the pain. In Noodle's name disease will reign. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. Armored and filled with rusted blades, they laugh as cities wilt and fade. Where they tread, no life remains, just hollow corpses, plague remains. Beneath the helm, the cursed grin, for in death they shall begin. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. And neath the warp the souls are bound, to spread decay, to break the ground. Noble's gifts a putrid stain, a future where only disease remains. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. The rot spreads, there's no escape. The death god seals your fate.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another very exciting episode of the Disgustingly Resilient Podcast Live. Can already tell people are hyped. We've got 90 people already in the chat. Again, I don't know why I've got my headset on at all, don't need it. No one is here with me. Will and Dave are still stuck in Leicester. They have seen it. I've just got a quick call from Dave then to have a quick catch up on that. I'm going to have a proper catch up with him after. But hello everybody and welcome, because today is a very special day. We were first, didn't see that one coming. I had 7th and 14th down as like our day, but it turns out Death Guard comes first for once. And we have our new detachment, the first of the Grotmas calendar, which is awesome. So very quick reminder guys, if you do like the stream, please leave a like and a subscribe. It helps massively towards YouTube thinking that we're a decent channel, and it helps sort of like spread the love around a bit. If you really like the channel, consider becoming a Plague Marine. Hit the join button, you get access to the Discord, you get access to all that music you can hear, all that kind of stuff like that. But I don't want to take too long because you're all here for one very good reason, and that is the new detachment. So this is what we have been given. It is the Flyblown host. Now, I'm going to interact with chat quite a bit this one because we've got obviously quite a lot to talk about. I want to hear your guys' feedback. There's already a lot of chat going on, which is really cool to see. And I kind of let me know what you want to think. Do you want me to just give my overall take now, or do you want me to go through it all first and then give my take towards the end? I'll let you guys decide what you want there. This new detachment looks 6. Praise the grandfather. Thank you very much, Chris, for going a member for 9 months, mate. Massively appreciate support. And yes, praise the grandfather indeed. And I think Tell also before KO Plague Marine. Thank you so much there as well. And Laser Chicken, thank you so much for the 1 gifted membership there. Again, if you just got gifted that, make sure to say thank you. And if you do become a member, go to our YouTube channel homepage, click the community tab, find a link to join the Discord. It'll be a few scrolls down, and you'll get access to all the good stuff. So let's have a look. Super amazing attachment. Everyone should 100% take this. I'm definitely not a non-daft player trying to take you. Okay. So my overall take is I am unsure. I am kind of lukewarm. But we'll come back around to that. But let's go for it first so we can understand what we're talking about here. So detachment rule. So this is the bit we are. I'm going to zoom in a bit. So this is the bit we are going to lose our plague company for. So we get Verminous Haze though. So Death Guard infantry models from your army that are not embarked on a transport have the Scouts 5 inches and stealth abilities. So having permanent stealth on ally infantry is nice. That's really good. It means we're -1 to be hit at all times for shooting. That's really cool. I kind of wish this wasn't just infantry. Obviously, that's a bit of a daft dream. But, I mean, we have other armies that have, like, stealth all the time, like Vanguard. And I understand they want us to go pure infantry, but, like, not giving us a scout on the transport feels a little mean. It's only 5 inches, not huge. But I understand the idea of it. They want us to, like, it's supposed to be like old trudging style Death Guard, so I understand that. I wish my only change here would be like this to just say non-vehicle, non-monster units, because goddamn, I would love to give Spawn a Scout 5. Spawn with a Scout 5 would be, ooh, that would actually be nice. But I mean, it still means we get Scouts on our Poxwalkers, Terminators, and our Plague Marines, which is decent. It's not too bad. Movement is an issue for Death Guard, so having a bit of extra movement. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything to our cultists because they have Scout 6 anyway. So you can choose to Scout 5 if you want. You have Scout 5 and Scout 6. Unfortunately, they do not stack. You can't Scout 11. That would be funny. Enhancements. So let's have a look at the enhancements. So first up, we've got Droning Chorus. So this is Death Guard infantry. All this is Death Guard infantry model only. We'll just caveat that right now. No, if you get out of the transport, you still have stealth. So you don't, like, if you start in a transport, you don't just like never get it. You just don't get the scouts. But as soon as you disembark, you still get the stealth. Like, you still all your infantry is permanent stealth all the time. Just bear that in mind, chat. So Droning Chorus. Death Guard infantry model only. Ranged weapons equipped by the models in the bearer's unit have the assault ability. Actually good. Like, that's genuinely a cool fucking rule, and I do like that. Because you get, you basically get that on any character you want. So you can have Death Shroud with the pistol flamers now having assault. Blight Lord Terminators can have assault. You can have a, you can have the Plague Marines with assault. And they have lots of shooting attacks. So being able to move, advance gives mobility out of that, especially out of like if you do put them in a Rhino, you can like get out 3, move 5, advance, and then still shoot. We already used to be able to do that with like the Biology Putrefier's little grenade thing, but giving it to a full unit. Pretty good on Blight Lords, weirdly, as well, because Blight Lords have some okay, not great shooting, but it's okay, which is okay. But it's nice to give them a little bit of extra ability to help with that 4-inch move, and they do have more guns than usual, so you're probably still going to want to like Plague Marine squads, because Plague Marines have like the hardest hitting shooting. Although on Death Shroud, it means that if you do advance, you're not just like giving up everything. You can like advance towards screens, spray them off, and then like obviously get a bit of extra movement rather than having to just move you 4. So it's good. It's good in general. Nice to basically just give us assault on a unit. We like that. Good. Insectile Murmutation. Death Guard infantry models. I mean, that are not embarked to me. Yeah. Death Guard model only. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack that targets a unit that is within contagion range of one or more Death Guard units. So it doesn't have to be contagion range of itself. It could just be contagion range of anything. You get to reroll wound rolls of 1. Now, this is not terrible. The bit that annoys me about this one is rerolling a wound roll of 1 is decent. Blight Lords already have that rule, and they already fucking suck. So this enhancement, which I would love to put on something like a Blight Lord, just got worse. Because they don't, again, the rule, it's the same problem we have with Lord of Virulence in the Blight Lord squad. They're just so annoying. It's like, god damn it. But having it on Plague Spirit, and again, the problem is as well, like, the Terminator units have access to Lord of Virulence for 60 more points for full rerolls to wound. So you could put this on a like a Plague Marine squad, rerolling 1s to wound for Plague Marines is pretty okay. It's quite nice if you take the melter guns and you're like trying to crack vehicles, because then you're wounding vehicles on 3s rolling 1s with the melter guns, which is quite nice. And obviously plasma guns reroll 1s. It's a nice little buff. Is it worth 20 points is the question. Do we have anything that has enough shooting output that can make the most use of this? And that's make sure I've got like Death Shroud. You normally like real 1s to wound is okay. We've all played with Mortarion, haven't we? Mortarion is good, because Mortarion has the real 1s aura. That's quite nice to have, but that does affect everything that has to go on infantry model. When I'm using Mortarion, the last thing I really care about is rerolling 1s to wound for like the infantry stuff. It's more to be like supporting predators and things like that. It does work in melee too, but I don't know if I want to put 20 points on a Blight Lord Terminator squad to just give it real 1s to wound in melee. And you are right, it does let you shoot further out units. But at the same time, it's just got that bit of redundancy that makes me feel a bit like, yeah. It's like, And the other problem we've got as well at the moment is, Morty being 300 points, you're probably running Mortarion still. I'd guess anyway, still in this list. And he already has the real one rolls aura. So, what I would have liked this to be, and I think would have been better, would be the same it is right now, but if it is within your own contagion aura, so if the unit that has it, if it's in their own contagion aura, reroll the wound roll, and like slam it up to 30 points. Then I'll be interested. Then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's quite spicy now. But again, maybe I'm dreaming a little bit. But you could put in a lot of contagion, lean Death Shroud Terminators, because then you have hitting on 2s, rerolling everything, wounding on like most infantry on 2s, rerolling 1s, hitting vehicles on like 4s and 5s, rerolling 1s. It's not bad. It's just I don't think you're going to go out your way to put this into your list. But it's not bad. It's not a bad buff. I just kind of wish it, like again, when we're already looking at, if we're looking at like Blight Lords, which these attachments are meant to want to make you take units that aren't already taken, why would you make an enhancement that is on the rule of the unit that is already not taken? A bit annoying. Yeah, you could put it on a Foul Blight Spawn and Flamers. Anti-Infantry 2 plus rerolling 1s is actually pretty fucking good. But it is nice. It's nice. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's not bad. It's just I wish it was like maybe like a little more expensive, but a little more, because like I really want this attachment to make Blight Lords better. Rejuvenating Swarm, 10 points, Death Guard infantry model only. At the end of each phase, the bearer regains all its wounds. This is probably the worst one. If this was more expensive, but lost this infantry caveat, I might actually run a Demon Prince. Because a Demon Prince that regenerates all its goddamn wounds every phase would be kind of wild. So, I mean, like, I'd be super chuffed for that. It couldn't be 10 points, don't get me wrong, but it would also make Demon Princes playable, which would be nice to have. The problem is, infantry models, unless you have like a really weird meta where everyone's running goddamn precision, is that your characters are going to be the last thing that's taking damage. And if a unit has just murdered your entire Death Shroud brick, or Blight Lord brick, or whatever, and left the character alive, he's not going to live the next activation. Like, okay, so basically, this only gets value in a scenario where they have killed the bodyguard unit, they had some leftover damage, put your character down to like 2 wounds, and he heals up to 6. Yay, then you die next turn. Like, that's about it. Like, it's not great. So you could potentially put it into like, you know, people that can run solo, but again, you know, I want to put it in like a Death Shroud Terminator, so I've got 5 wounds. I don't really want to run a lot of Contagion solo, like Death Guard Chaos Lord in Terminator armor? Maybe? But again, like, just, no, it is definitely, it's the droning. It's, I've got 10 points spare, I'm just going to, like, chuck it on something. It's much better than the droning, I'll give it that, but I'm honestly, like, this is the worst of the bunch here. It's just, I would rather it be infantry model regains all wounds, and if it's not infantry, it regains D3 wounds at each phase, because that would, like, go on a Demon Prince. It doesn't make it as busted as being full heal every turn, but it would be nice to have something to make those monstrous characters a little bit better. But it is what it is. Plague Veil, now this one is super interesting. Death Guard infantry model only. While the bearer unit is within range of one or more objective markers that you control, the unit can only be selected as a target of a ranged attack if the attacking model is within 18. So it gives a squad 18-inch loan up. Now, what is interesting about this one? Well, the one thing we have to remember is when we're on terrain and we're thinking about objectives, this is quite terrain dependent, because if you can hold an objective from behind a wall, you're not getting shot anyway. Power indirect, and indirect is a lot weaker than it used to be. So it's not getting value there. But What this does mean is that if you're in a scenario where, you know, maybe you need to go onto the other side of the wall, or someone tries to, like, tow onto the wall and you want to charge out, and they're trying to force something off you, 18-inch loan up is nice to just stop you getting sniped across the board, and it does force people to come within 18 of your unit, which means, obviously, then they are at more risk of being charged. The problem is, like, 18 for us, even if you're at a 6-inch move, it's still a 12-inch charge, and we have no advance on charge. But it's not bad for just keeping something alive. Now, at 25 points, I feel like this is going to get more value if your opponent plays flanks, and you get, like, a Death Shroud unit on a flank with a rapid ingress to kill the threatening thing on that flank, and now the rest of the unit's like, oh god, we're on the other side of the board and cannot shoot this unit. This is one that's really going to have to be played out, and I think it's going to be more map dependent than anything. It's only within, it's only if you're in range of objective max, so it's not even 18-inch low up. So it's only good for holding objectives. Now, if you're in the center objective, you're getting shot. Like, 18 inches to the center objective is not, like, special. That you're gonna get murdered there. Which means its only use really is, like, putting it on the natural objective. And again, chances are you're gonna be behind a wall. Plague Marines aren't that super tough to kill anyway. I don't think it reads good. I don't think it is as good. You could technically put it on a Tallyman and hold home with it on your own. And just to avoid indirect. If you're worried about getting indirected killed by, like, Basilisk or Manticores or whatever. Or Exorcist. Actually, there you go. That is the one great counter. Fuck Exorcists. You can shove 10 Plague Marines on your natural... Actually, it's hard counter systems. Pretty goddamn hard. Because they don't have the OC. They don't have, like... They're not playing OC heavy units. They're just playing, like, lots of tanks. So if you can put a Plague Veil unit onto an objective on the safe side of a wall, you are not getting shot by Exorcists. So if you are in a Sisters heavy meta, Exorcists are goddamn everywhere. Your life savior is now here. You now have the Plague Veil. You stand on that point and you go, cool, I will just hold this objective all game, and you are not killing me with Exorcists. Which makes them have to do something, which is actually pretty good. But yeah, this one I think needs playing a bit more to see how it's going to be useful. If it was just 18-inch loan up all the time, it'd be a lot nicer. But I don't know. The one good thing is, this is the one good thing. You can be stupid with your scout now. This combined with Scout 5 up here means this unit can be pretty stupid, because that's the one time 18 inches is probably not going to get reached is turn 1. Which means you can deploy on the line and do a stupid scout, and as long as you pre-measured it, you ain't getting shot, which is actually pretty good, because that means you can get into a nice staging position midfield. So, I mean, if you wanted to put 18 Death Shroud, oh no, you can't, you'll be on an objective. God damn it. This is what's so annoying. So you'd have to string out to your back objective, but then you can't use your scout because then you move off it. The only thing is if you could scout, and you can't even scout 6, you scout 5, so you can't even get to the middle objective with a scout. Yeah, okay, no, this is actually, like, not even got that play there. Man. It's indirect protection and, like, slight shooting protection on, like, very open objectives. That's about it. Yeah, and the problem is as soon as you string out or in your scout, you then lose it. Okay, I'm actually less sold on Plague Veil than before. So you want to screw over Exorcists, it's a great choice. Par that, I'm just not sure. If it was old, like 12-inch loan up, because then they have to get in flamer range, and then you're like, oh yeah. But 18, there's a lot more play around 18 than there is 12, which makes this and the fact it's also just hoops. Gotta be even and the worst bit is, this is what's even more annoying. If you had, for example, 10 Blight Lords, or like, I don't know, like 5 Death Shroud and a character on an objective with this on, and then a unit runs by with more OC and stands on the objective, then you lose it because you don't control the objective anymore, and then you get shot to shit. Yeah, I can see this doing more well in teams because, like I said, you got lights in there. But I think in general for solos, Plague Veil reads really cool. You read it and you're like, oh my god, loan up in Death Guard, and then you actually think about it more, and like the problems start showing, which is a bit annoying. It does stop people getting long shooting angles, so look at your terrain you're playing on. If there is long shooting angles that can be taken, it can be pretty decent there for just making sure you hold an objective safely. Par that, I don't really think it's as good as it may read at first. Thank you as well, Nurgle Matthew, for giving the 5 gifted memberships there, mate. Massively appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, if you did get gifted, you want to make sure to say thank you there for Nurgle Matthew. But yeah, I don't know. I don't... And just, yeah, on that one. But overall, like, I like Insectile Imitation. I think it's pretty decent. Droning Chorus is probably my favourite. Giving a unit Assault is just really nice to help out on mobility. Rejuvenating Swarm is I've got 10 points spare. And Plague Veil is really needs testing to see how that works out. Because if you're on a board where it matters, it's going to be like a lifesaver. If you're on a board where it doesn't matter, it's 25 points doing nothing. But we'll see. Enhancement time. So, first up, Nauseating Paroxysms. 1 command point in the start of the fight phase. 1 Death Guard infantry unit from your army that has an engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Select 1 enemy unit with engagement range. That unit must take a Battle Shock test. That unit must subtracting 1 from the result. Okay, so... Battle Shock is weird. I don't like having to spend a command point and then hope they fail a roll to make something happen. Now, this to me feels like they want to try and make the Blightbringer work. Because if you have the Blightbringer in this, now they're -3? Or is it minus... Let me just double check. I've got up our data sheets just in case. Yeah, so they're -3 leadership. Which is kind of funny, and that gives them a really, really good chance to fail that save. Now, what is it good for? Turns off Armor Contempt, turns off Fight on Death, which is actually quite important, turns off any defensive stratagems, turns off any offensive stratagems, because remember, you can use it when they charge you as well, so if you're worried about getting lanced or something, so like, you know, when Blood Angels come into Death Guard and they want to use lethal hits and lance, you can just go, yep, nope, fuck off, which is nice. It can actually have quite nice implications. Now, the problem is you're paying a command point for something that could not work, and I feel like it's mandatory to have the Noxious Blightbringer for the -3. Because at -1, I don't know if I trust it. Against weaker armies with weaker leadership, sure, but against like Marines, like 7-up, that is a very good point, Mikey, actually. It does turn off reinforcements. So if they have a unit, like if you charge into their Scion Brick or Aquilons and you don't want it to respawn, slam this button, they fail the Battle Shock test, wipe them out, they can't use it. So that's actually really good there. It's one of the. This is a stratagem it's in your pocket. It's a tool stratagem. You don't go. This isn't something you build around to use every game. But if you are in a meta where there's lots of stuff, armor contempting, with defensive strats, fight on death, or offensive strat, like a lot of melee stuff going on, then it actually might be pretty decent, and it can come in clutch. Also, it means that you can charge stuff into things you have no way of killing. So, like, say they have 20 Hormagaunts, and you have a single, like, you have 2 Plague Marines, and you manage to, or 20 Termagaunts. You charge it, you've got Storm Hostile objective, you charge the Termagaunts, you pay the strat, they fail the Battle Shock, which means they're no longer got OC, you flip the objective, not in their primary turn, because obviously on Battle Shock, but it means you would score something like Storm Hostile. So it's a tool to have, it's cute, it's definitely not like the most powerful thing in the world, but when it comes into play, we've all seen people playing like Blood Angels when Dante finally lands that Battle Shock, and suddenly it's like, oh, now I can't -1 damage, oh, now I can't, you know, Armor of Contempt. It's actually quite big. So when it comes up, it'll be big. When it doesn't, it's irrelevant. Quick check with the chat. More Plague Marines, please. Yes, we do lose Sticky. We lose Sticky, and we lose the extra Contagion bonus, which we're going to get into after we've looked at this, because that is quite a hard sell for me. Yeah, I think that's the thing, David, as well, because you can, when you get charged, you can Battle Shock them charging you, and if they fail it, they then aren't flipping that primary effort because they won't unbattle shock in the command phase because it's your command phase. So actually, in terms of that, pretty big. So it's more of a, like, it's a defensive / like stopping your opponent doing the thing. That you need to basically always remember you have this, even when you're not going to see it and be used, yeah? So just remember that. You're going to have to remember you have this, because when it does come up, it's going to be important. When it doesn't, you don't need it. It's fine. Next one, we'll go down. We'll go left to right. We'll go left to right. Droning Horror. Shooting phase. 1 Death Guard infantry unit from your army has not been selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, each time modeling unit makes a ranged attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. Okay. If the attack targets a unit within half range, reroll the hit roll instead. Now, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, especially if you're rocking a Biological Putrefier with the 5+ crits. Now you're critting on 5s with 4 rerolls to hit. That's pretty good, and that makes like shooty squads of Plague Marines look pretty goddamn good. Especially because you can again put that enhancement on now. The entire squad's got assault, so you've got a squad that's got assault, crit 5s, full rerolls to hit. That's pretty scary. Like 6 plasma gun shots. You can get 4 blight launcher shots in there. You still got some flamers that can shoot. Again, they can't crit, but they can't crit hit anyway. And they don't need to rerolls. But still, that's not a bad shooting unit. That's actually kind of decent. Now, I do actually weirdly like this, and this is the thing that makes Blight Lords actually not terrible, because you can take combi weapons. Problem with combi weapons, they hit on 4s. But don't get me wrong, a lot of Blight Lord's problems would be fixed if we could just add Virions to him, like a Talisman in there, to make that hit on 3s. But you can take 6 combi weapons, which gives you 12 shots, hitting on 4s. And again, imagine a Battle Screech Fire in here, the dream. So you get 6 hits on average. 4 rolls to hit is actually not bad with that, because then you're going up to like 9 hits on average, and then they have their reroll ones to wound themselves, and the dev wounds on a 4 up against infantry. So you're kind of looking at like around 5 to 6 dev wounds off that, which in terms of like shooting at elite units, it's not the worst thing. Plus you've got the Reaper auto cannon that has also got dev wounds and can fire away, so that's gonna have 8 shots off those 2 things shooting. Again, rerolling full hits. It's not bad. Let's have a look. Each time a model, so the model have to be in half range. So if you've got 4 guys within half range, 5 guys not in half range, only the 4 would get the full rolls to hit. So you will have to roll it model to model, which is a little annoying, but yeah, it's not too bad. So this is the kind of strat that actually makes Blight Lords not horrible. It's not great, but I think rerolling hit rolls is good. Like straight up, there's nothing bad there. Chaos Lord Terminator only gives them reroll 1s to hit Epsilon, not +1 to hit. I wish it was. So unfortunately, that is not synergistic with this. Now, what you can do, obviously, is you can Lord of Virulence in that squad. So now you've got full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound. Now it's kind of cooking a little bit, because now you got 12 shots, hitting on 4s with full rerolls, getting about 9 on average, wounded on 4s with full rerolls. You're looking about like 7-ish now. So you get 7-ish dev wounds there, which isn't terrible, plus the other guns, again. So you can just become a little dev wound fishing thing, which isn't too bad. Whether I'd give them Assault, you could as well, if you really want to guarantee you get into that that nice rapid fire range. So it's not awful. It's a good stratagem for 1 command point. Rerolling hit rolls is always solid. So I mean, I like this more in Biology Putrefier Squad because it's just easy to fish for lethals, and actually it makes like 2 melter guns with lethal 5s rerolling all hits against vehicles. Can actually be pretty decent, which is nice. But I mean, in general, also this all works from Deep Strike with the Blight Lords, because you come in 9 away, you can also shoot that in. True DTM, you can also fire this with the Terminator Sorcerer Lord. That actually makes his 2d6 super shot a lot more reliable, because you're pretty much guaranteeing you're going to hit almost all of those shots there. So that's going to be actually quite scary. The 2d6 is still swingy, but if you then reroll all the hit rolls, and then you get reroll ones to wound from the Blight Lords, plus you give it Assault as well, potentially, like, there is so much things here that could be pretty decent. But it's kind of putting it all together. But I'm never going to complain for a 1 command point reroll all hit rolls, ever. So, happy with that. Vermin Cloud. 1 Death Guard infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to fight yet in the fight phase. Until the end of phase, 6-inch pile and 6-inch consolidate. Actually good. Like, 6-inch consolidate and 6-inch piling in an army that is, like, pretty freaking slow is quite big. Especially because of the bullshit you can do, where you can have Typhus, for example. So, you can have Typhus charge something with Poxwalkers. You string out the unit, wherever. You can have a Lehman Russ 9 inches away from the unit now. So after you've charged, there's a Lehman Russ 9 inches away. It's super safe. You kill some infantry. You resurrect Poxwalkers on the other side of the squad towards Lehman Russ. And now you have an extra like 3 inches gain from that. And then you can consolidate 6 inches into the Lehman Russ and tag it. Mikey Way is correct. You pile in and consolidate more than you move. So this is actually really good for just tagging stuff, tying stuff up, getting like good charges. Also, it means that you're not going to get screwed as much on like charging round walls, because you can have 6 inches to go around the wall, which is nice. So I mean, 6-inch piling and consolidate it's just good. You can get onto objectives, you can tag certain things. Like this entire thing, like screaming that wants you to like run infantry heavy and just start moving up the board, being annoying, tagging stuff, and having the access to a 6 inches, especially on stuff like Poxwalkers, Cultists, anything that takes up a lot of real estate. Even Blight Lords would really like this because, again, 6-inch Pilot and Consolidate. It means you can string them out and just tag so many things. You're not really using it to kill stuff. You just want to tag stuff and stop it shooting and being annoying. Also means, for example, if you get charged on a wall and you got some guys on the other side, you can pile in potentially through the wall and round to the other side to put more OC on it. Yeah, that also, Chris, if you Heroic Intervention, you activate the fight, then you get a 6-inch Pile and Consolidate. There's people who have gotten good at the fight phase know how strong these are. But again, it's a tool like this. Like, Droning Horror is the closest to like a strat you're probably going to use pretty much every game. But these two here are tools. I mean, you should be always trying to look for a way to use this, and it's a good stratagem. But there'll be games when like you just charge someone, there's just nothing within 6. Like, so you can't do anything. But if you're playing this detachment, start looking to put yourself in ways where maybe you give up some of your output to try and basically get extra things tagged. Because if you do make a charge, you get a 9-inch charge, and then you get a 6-inch Pile and a 6-inch Tops Consolidate. You've just gone, what, 9 plus 12? You can 21 inches. What the fuck? So it's going to be interesting on that one. And I think it's a good strat. I've seen Ox play with it. I've seen Nids play with it. It is good. But it's really gonna come down to player skill. It's not you really have to look for opportunities. It's not something you're just gonna be like, yeah, just press the button and it makes the thing die. But it is very good. So Verminclad, good. Innovating Onslaught, charge phase. Death Guard unit has just made a charge. Oh, this is the weird charge grenade, isn't it? So after you've charged in the charge phase, so it's not in the fight phase, in the charge phase. You pick a Death Guard infantry unit, charge that turn, you select one enemy unit within engagement range of a unit. Now, I wish this was after the friggin' 6-inch piling, because that would be funny as fuck. But it's not, it's in the charge phase. Roll 1d6 for each model unit that is within engagement range, adding 1 to the result if it's not a cultist or poxwalker. So, basically, Plague Marines Terminators do better. For every 5 up, again, 4 up for Blight Lords, Death Shroud, and Plague Marines, the selected enemy suffers a mortal wound to a max of 6. So, it's like a charge grenade. So, what can we expect of this? Well, it's easy to look at it and be like, oh, 20 Poxwalkers go in. That's like, you know, every 5 up, that's going to be like 6 guaranteed almost. It's like, yeah, but whenever do you get all 20 in engagement on the charge? Not on pilings, on the charge. It doesn't really happen. And that's kind of the truth for everything. Now, if you do manage to get something like a Plague Marine squad in, with 2 characters in it, for example, that's going to give you 12 dice rolls and every 4 up to 6. So you do average the 6 mortal wounds, which is really nice, because this means you can do what JPIs do, which Aura is saying in the chat. You can grenade something for free with biological fire. You can then charge it. On average, you've just done 9 mortal wounds to a unit. So if that was a tank, it's now on 2 mortal wounds, which is actually kind of fucking stupid, because now you've got a unit that can like kill that. And then here's the fun bit. If you've killed that unit, and there's another unit within 6, you now spend this stratagem here, and you pile in 6 inches into that other unit, and because you've charged, you still have it eligible to activate even if the tank's dead. So let's say you've shot the tank a bit, you've grenade stratted it, you've done the mortals in the charge, you've made it so that you can pile into a second unit, you then pop this, and you go, cool, I'm going to pile in 6 inches into this unit over here, you pile in 6, kill that unit, and then consolidate 6 fucking elsewhere. There's some daft things here. Oh, so you can't use it against vehicles. Ah, god damn it. Why do you always ruin it? Okay, still point remains. Still, you can do that. Obviously, you just got to do it on non-monsters, non-vehicles, which is a bit annoying because, you know, can't have fun. But again, you can still, the point remains, you go grenade something, you can even tie for something if you want, and then charge something, do some mortal wounds to it, pile into something. So maybe at this point, you could charge the infantry unit nearby that's got a couple guys left, you know. Maybe it's the easier charge. You've got like 2 infiltrators that were trying to screen the tank. You charge into them, you kill them with the mortal wounds, and then you use the Verminclad to pile into the tank and melee it to death. So there's this nice little thing you can do there. Also, it being in the charge phase is really annoying because if people have like feel no pain strats, if they want to use it here, they're not going to get a feel no pain strat in the fight phase because they'll have to use it. Because it's a different phase, they'll have to use it again. So the fact it's actually in the charge phase is probably better in that regard, because it just means anyone has like phase dependent. Like you charge Custodes, for example, you do 6 mortal wounds to some wardens. It's like, cool, 2 wardens die. Do you want to use your 4 up feel no pain once per phase? You want to do it at the start of the charge phase? Do you want to do that? They're probably not going to do it, so I'm probably just going to kill 2 of them off a charge, and then I'll slap the rest of them in close combat. So actually, again, it's one of those. A lot of these are just like, when it happens and it's good. But the other problem we have is, if you are running the full 10-man squad of Plague Marines with the characters and stuff, you're kind of just killing most things you charge anyway. So for me to want to use this, it either has to be an exceptionally tough unit, or I'm looking to make a play with this, which makes me feel like this is actually a 2 command point stratagem at this point. So just be aware of that. There is that. Okay. I have the Swarm. Pick a Death Guard infantry in the shooting phase. That was not shot. You get pistols. Everything becomes a pistol. I mean, I'm happy to shoot flamers in close combat. I'm happy to like shoot the what do you call it? I'm happy to shoot a plasma guns in close combat. The problem here again is Plague Marines tend to kill what they're charging. The biggest thing here, like the same with Death Shroud, like, and there are Death Shroud are already pistols, so ignore that. The only real unit that's going to get benefits out of this are going to be the what do you call it? Blight Lords, really. Now Blight Lords shooting in combat, actually pretty decent because their melee output isn't great. So now you basically don't have to give up your shooting either. So if you're doing this like weird Dev Wound build with like, you know, Lord of Virulence, Blight Lords, plus like the enhancement, you can get stuck in combat, pay a command point, you can still shoot away, do your average like 8 to 9 Dev Wounds there, and then still get to like maybe potentially charge something else. So it's okay, it's niche. The annoying thing is like this, like one of the 3 units you care about this on already has pistol, which is annoying. Yeah, it does nice to free up if you've been tagged by something. But like we could already do that with like Typhus and things. It's okay. You can compare this. This is the thing, as Mike's saying. If you have this, you can combine it with this up here, with the full rolls to hit, which is nice. So you can obviously shoot in close combat as pistols, get full rolls to hit because they're obviously within range. But here's the problem: this is requiring this now. And then we've got this stratagem here wanting this stratagem. So these are actually not looking like 1 CP stratagem, they're all looking like 2 CP combos to me. And I don't like 2 CP combos. I'd rather just spend 1 command point and get a good result. It's okay. Honestly, it's probably not going to come up that much. The most I can ever see it is if you're stuck in combat like a tank, someone's trying to just tag you. You know, you can at least shoot your melter guns in close combat and try and just blow yourself out of that. Or, like you said, Blight Lords, just basically so they don't have to give up shooting anything and keep firing. Death Shroud don't need it at all, obviously. Characters, like, it lets your Lord of Virulence shoot his sprayer. Lets your Sorcerer do his thing, which is okay. That's not bad, particularly, because, I mean, obviously that's flat damage 3. But he has to shoot the unit you're in combat with. I don't know, I'm not... Every time I see something that's like, you can shoot in close combat, I'm like, that would be okay, but... I don't tend to stick around in close combat because, you know, I'm kind of already killing people who come near me. It's alright. Mephitic Invigoration. Demon flies are drawn to blah blah blah. Opponent shooting phase just after an enemy unit. So when they target something, target 1 Death Guard infantry unit that is within 6 inches of 1 or more friendly Mephitic Blight Haulers as the target. You basically get the Death Shroud rule. So you get to subtract 1 from the rune roll if the strength of the gun is higher than your toughness characteristic. So, stratagem's good. The main problem with the stratagem is you have to take Mephitic Blight Haulers, which kind of suck. Unfortunately, Plague Plus Flamers don't work, Aura, because, what do you call it? I mean, you can. You mean, like, you're out. Yeah, I suppose if you're using your Malignant Playcasters as attachments, but most of mine are in the Rhino anyway, and the Rhino's big guns never tire, so it can just shoot anyway. So I guess if you attach to the squads and they're going out, yeah. Scout, Christopher Lara, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, mate. Scout 5, Stealth on Poxwalkers, Drone in Horror on Blight Lords, Consolidate 6 on Plague Marines, Assault on Death Shroud shooting PMs, Methaic for bringing a Hauler in near Death Shroud Blight Lord Terminators. Like, there is some little combos here. The problem I've got, and I'll talk about more at the end, is I'm jumping through a lot of hoops. And we're going to talk about what we're giving up for it. So we'll see. Yeah, Death Shroud again have no benefit from this strat because they already have... I mean, okay, so technically, you can stack 2 -2s to wound. Technically, there's nothing saying... Because it's coming from 2 different rules, technically it can stack to -2. If something's shooting you... No, that's going to be weird now. How does that work if they're shooting you? does that then go -2 to wound and put it to the negative? So for example, if they're +1 to wound, would the first one negate that and then the second one put them to -1 to wound? Because they can't do that. Right? Because then... Oh god, that's so confusing. So if they're strength 9 and your toughness 6, -1 to wound would bring them to 4s. Does that stack with the second application, which would then bring them to 5s? I mean, it can't because that's over -1. But if you had a +1, would it counter it out? Ah, brain. I hate things like this. It's capped. It is capped at -1 tops. So you can't do that, obviously. Sorry, my brain's being a bit of a daft one there. But I wonder if they had a +1 to wound as well. Would it counter that? Yeah. So it would counter a +1 again. The best benefit for this is you don't have to put death. Yeah, it frees you up having to not put a character in Death Shroud, but like you're gonna do that anyway. So yeah, that's not really a thing. So we don't have to worry about that. So it's Blight Lords. Now, one thing that actually is pretty good on is Poxwalkers. Because 20 Poxwalkers, who are permanently -1 to hit, -1 to be wounded, and you can go to ground, because you don't need to spend the CP on Cloud Flies anymore, that's fucking annoying. That's actually turbo annoying for someone. So if they're going to shoot Poxwalkers, let's say a tank commander, hits on 4s now, against your Poxwalkers, wounds on 3s, and you have a 6-up invulnerable. It's kind of weirdly annoying. So I actually like it on like the weird things like that. Obviously you can put it on Blight Lords, and then Blight Lords become like mini shit Death Shroud. But it's not terrible, and it helps you get on the board. Like the main thing is this stacks with your stealth that you get from the detachment. So you can have a unit that's going to be, your Terminators are always going to have it on your Death Shroud, so they're always going to be stealth and -1 to be wounded, which is nice for durability. But like Poxwalkers, I think actually make great use of this, because Poxwalkers be -1 to hit, -1 to wound, and the it's not Holy Run as well, so you can just tow one guy back, which is nice. And Blight Lords can make use out of it. Again, will we see Blight Lords? I don't know. They still just don't really do much on the table, but you could potentially just bring them and just be like, hey, here's tough bodies with stealth and -1 to be wounded when I want it. This is probably a stratagem you will probably use every turn on certain units. Again, the main problem is bringing the goddamn Pathetic Blight Hauler. You could bring one and just be like, I'm just going to place this somewhere it hides to do weird things with. But it's like the choice between that or the Bloat Drone. I think in this detachment you maybe do bring the Hauler still, because it just has that extra utility and makes things harder to kill. Plus you're going to have like anti-infantry out your wazoo, just because the units you're kind of incentivized to take in this detachment with the whole infantry facing thing. So it's they're decent. Like, it's a good strat. Like, again, I think you'd be surprised at the units this is good on. A lot of people will think instantly to put this on Plague Marines and Blight Lords, but I tell you what, you put 20 Poxwalkers out into the middle of the objective with -1 to hit, -1 to wound on, and then you go to ground on them. Trust me, that thing will take more firepower than you think. But that's the last stratagem. So overall, it's interesting. The main issue I have with this is what we're giving up. So let's remind ourselves what we're giving up for this. Go right to the top. Play company. There we go. So we still get -1. Also, another thing I don't like about this is it makes our army rule, this Nurgle's Gift aura, the -1 toughness, just go back to being like when we started the edition, which was like nobody gave a shit. -1 toughness is only good versus light infantry. Apart of that, it just doesn't. Its impact on the game is minimal. It's just the reason it makes an impact in Plague Companies because of the additional effect. The -1 toughness is nice, it's cute, but that's not the real power. The real powerhouse is in the extra conditions. So we're still at -1 toughness. It's okay, but it makes it a lot. When I play Play Company, I'm actively incentivized and wanting to spread contagion. Like, that is the goal. Like, I have a very real reason to want to spread contagion. In this one, I'm just not that interested. I am not interested. Also, we have to give up army-wide sticky objectives, which is actually pretty goddamn cool, and infected objective markers, which just got buffed as well. So that's a bit of a hit. But you're also asking me to give up these. These are some of the most powerful rules in the game. They are bonkers. -1 save. anyone that talks about Death Guard, in a competitive sense anyway, knows the real power of Death Guard is that when someone comes within 12 inches of Death Guard, they die. You will just get wiped. You get picked up so fucking quick because Death Guard hit like a freight train. We have AP3 melee, we have AP3 shooting, AP5 melters, that Brigand's AP6, these Predators are AP3. Like, there's so much AP. Like, you just don't get saved. If your army doesn't have tons of invulns, you're getting killed at record speed. Like, Flame has been AP2. It's huge, okay? And if you're more of a Skull Squirm player who likes to reduce ballistic skill, -1 to hit is nice. Like, stealth is good. But stacking that to, like, -2s to be hit is crippling to certain armies. Like, you just don't recover from it. And if you're against melee armies, there's no counterplay around it. There's just none. So these are two of the most powerful rules in the game, and you're giving them up for a once per game scout, which is good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say scout's bad, but it's only effective at the start of the game, and it can be completely denied by infiltrators, so you're going to have to bring some Nurglings. And you're getting stealth all the time. Now, if you said to me, hey Aiden, do you want stealth for your entire army in a once per game scout, or do you want permanent army-wide sticky objectives and these insane auras? It's not a hard decision, that one, to make, is it? But let's carry on. Let's compare the enhancements and the stratagem packages. So, well, the enhancements at the bottom for this. Now, enhancements aren't a strong suit for Plague Company. Living Plague is only good because of the effective extra contagion stuff. Again, if we went back to like normal, just minus toughness contagion, it's dog shit. It's not great. But with the contagion bonuses, it's okay. It's decent. The droning is pathetic. Never take it. Deadly Pathogen is actually one of the better ones because it makes you can actually make a Slap Lord. Just spoiler alert: Chaos Lord with Twin Lightning Claws and a Biology Putrefier, and Deadly Pathogen. If you haven't actually rolled that out with a sustain strat, it's actually just like averaged 8 to 9 damage to like vehicles. It's stupid. I don't know why. We've never seen it before until someone mentioned it to me, and I rolled it out, and it's kind of stupid. So just a fun one there. But Deadly Pathogen on Lord of Contagion, it slaps hard. It's a great. I've got 15 points spare enhancement. Shamble Rot is a bit weird because it's a good effect. Subtract 2 from charge roll is great, but we're not really asked, especially at the moment, about getting charged. We just dominate, especially if we've got Skull Squirm Blight up here. For -1 weapon skill, ballistic skill. We've got Death Shot everywhere. We've got access to -1 damage. All this good stuff. Like, it's a good enhancement, but it's just not really required. So enhancement wise, you could actually make an argument that maybe the ones in here are actually better because I like the top two. These are pretty decent, especially Droning Chorus. Really like. I wish Droning Chorus was in Plague Company. That would be awesome. And Plague Veil is potentially interesting. Plague Veil is like Shamble Rot. It's situationally interesting. Droning Chorus is your Deadly Pathogen. It is genuinely just good. And the Droning is Rejuvenating Swarm. And then the other terrible-ish one for the extra Contagion Aura is like... It's not terrible. It's good because of Contagion Aura. That's like this one. But the enhancements I'd roughly say probably even out, to be honest. Brian Churrill, $10 donation. Thank you so much, mate. GB rules really screwed Death Guard. Spread the sickness is the only thing that makes us good. They should apply it to the army rule. Every detachment will have to be crazy strong to be even close since our data sheet suck. Well, we're going to get into that in a second because I kind of agree, in a way. Now, enhancement-wise, stratagem-wise, so we're giving up all these, remember. We're giving up Ferric Blight, +1 AP whenever you need it. Potentially +2 AP on infected objective marker. That is a very good stratagem. That is a stratagem you can use every turn, and it just means you do even more AP. Very good. Sanguinous Flux, sustained hits in close combat, sustained hits 2 on infected objective markers, which just got buffed. This is very, very good. Sustained hits is a very good stratagem. We also have access to crit 5s, which is really nice, so this is a very good rule. So 2 excellent stratagems. -1 damage in close combat. Now this one is good, but it is replaceable by sorcerers to a degree. But having access to it means you can run it. But again, you do lose this access to it completely in the other stratagem. You have no -1 damage. So the other detachment has like no help in like melee regards. Stealth does nothing against melee matchups. This isn't here in existence, so it's like, that's not great. Gifts to Decay, take it or leave it. Don't really care that much. Boil Blight, losing that is, for me, Boil Blight is my beloved. this makes us actually like hit pretty hard. So the one thing that's really good about the current detachment is if you get the -1 save contagion on someone and then you Boil Blight it, you're effectively flipping 2 AP straight there because you don't get cover and the -1 save. Now this means if I shoot like las cannons currently, say I have a predator and I shoot your predator and we're in contagion range. If I shoot this and I've Boil Blighted you in Plague Company, you don't get a save because it's AP4 ignores cover. Bye bye. If I shoot you in the other detachment, you get -1 to be hit, but you don't because you're on a vehicle, so it won't even get you there. You don't get it on your vehicles. And you have a 5-up save against it. Suddenly not so bye bye. I really like Boil Blight. Giving it up is a hard sell. And obviously Cloud of Flies is just done far better by the other detachment because this is once per it's a stratagem. You know, you pick one unit, it gets stealth. This one has army-wide stealth, so that's obviously an easy comparison there. Flyblown Host has Miasma Pestilence, or Cloud of Flies, sorry. I always used to call it Miasma because it used to be the spell for it. But Cloud of Flies is permanently on for Flyblown Host. That is good. So, what does this detachment do that this doesn't? Am I going to run Plague Marines without transports? No, because they die. Even if I Scout 5 and Stealth is not convincing me not to take transports. It just doesn't. It's just I don't want to run like foot Plague Marines. Like you move 5, you Scout 5, you move 5. You got 10-inch move turn 1. I beat that with a Rhino, and I get the bonuses of being in a Rhino. So they're gonna happen. The best bit of the Scout is Poxwalkers, obviously. Cultists are redundant, and Terminators who want to start on the board. So this already tells you the kind of build this wants to do. This wants to do Terminator, Poxwalkery, spam, maybe with some Rhinos and Plague Marines in it. If you bring any form of vehicle in this detachment, you're, apart from these things here, you're actively shooting yourself in the foot because nothing works on them. It's all Death Guard infantry. There's so many caveats on this. And I get they want to bring back this like horde of infantry, but what annoys me is when detachments do this and then limit stuff. Like, you could give all these bonuses here for infantry, but let the stratagems at least just be used on anything. And the problem is, like, right now, like, Death Shroud are good, and it just leans into spamming that, which is weird given that they don't want that to happen. But, like, does it fix the Demon Prince? No, he doesn't get any of the abilities. He doesn't get Scout, he doesn't get Stealth, he doesn't use any of the stratagems, can't use any of the enhancements. Garbage. Are you going to take more time in this attachment? Well, I mean, he's a lot worse, because he doesn't get any of the strats at all. Nothing. You get no strats. You don't get an army rule. He gets nothing. He's just the... Unless you're infantry, you are reduced to datasheet. That is the problem. And the reason Death Guard sucked when 10th came out is our datasheets aren't great. It's a fact. It's just... unfortunately, our datasheets aren't great. Typhus is baller. But... So, when you make this list, you might as well throw out everything that isn't a Blight Hall, because they at least have some synergy, which again is weird because they want you to bring a Blight Hall, but the Blight Hall doesn't get any bonuses from the detachment, just slightly helps out. It, like, honestly, it felt like when they were making the detachment, they were like, oh, what units are they not using? Oh, they're not using Blight Halls. Oh yeah, just chuck a strat in for it or something. Like, outside of this stratagem, the Blight Hall gains nothing. And even in that stratagem, he gains nothing. He's just enabling it. But none of this helps any demon engine, any tank, anything. It's all pure infantry, which means your list is basically going to look like 60 Poxwalkers, all the Terminators, and some Plague Marines, which you're probably still going to bring Rhinos for. Now, I've heard some people already being like, this is overpowered, and being like, stupid, and I'm just like, are we on the same planet? I'm confused. I'm very confused if that's the case that people think, because... I don't know, you'll give up the one thing Death Guard do well, which is murderizing anything that comes close. Where is the damage output? You've lost it all. Like, you've got this here, Drone in Horror, which is quite nice. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But, like, the rest of it is, like, kind of movement tricks. But the thing is, like, you got some weird mortally wounded thing here, but again, Death Guard's problem is killing tanks. The fact that this infantry strat can only be used against non-vehicles, non-monsters to do mortal wounds, you don't need it. You will kill anything you charge with Plague Marines, more than likely, unless it's the hardest hitting units in the game, like some of the toughest units. You will kill most things. And the rest of it is like, again, this here, this piling 6 and 3, up to 6 and consolidate 6 is good, but it's only good when you get to use it in the right context, and it will be so much better on an army that can actually move fast. Like this, like the Scouts 5 again is what, like, so okay, let's have a look at an army that Scouts a lot. Votann. What makes Votann good with Scout? Why does Scout work for Votann, but it's not as impactful for us as Death Guard? Because Votann can Scout 6 and 9, and then they have units that move 12 and can then shoot pretty goddamn hard. And they can get guys out, they can do something like that. The units that they have make the most out of the Scout because it's followed by a massive move afterwards. It's Scout 6, move 12 with Sagittor. That is a 18-inch move. Ours is tops 10. Now, the unit that gets the assault ability actually gets to make good use of this rule, because you Scout 5, move 4 or 5, advance, and then shoot something pretty decent. But part of that, all this does is allow you to potentially get to staging positions a little easier. And if you have played like current Plague Company, that can be achieved via rhinos quite easily. Now, permanent stealth is good. I won't say permanent stealth is not good. This to me feels like it's going to be a weird combination of stat checky, how much can you kill, I just hold primary, you don't. That's what I read on this. You use the movement tricks you've got with like Vermin Cloud and stuff like that to basically just try and stay on primary. You make units annoying to kill with this -1 to be wounded, and you bring a lot of Terminator bodies for cheap with like Blight Lords and Death Shrouds and things like that. But the other problem I have is, let's say you are a humble Death Shroud. You charge into some, like, you got 6 Death Shroud, okay? You charge into something with a 2-up save, and then they pop Armor of Contempt. You have no way to make your melee any better. You are AP1 melee. You could do some mortal wounds to it. Yay. So, like, if I was playing Plague Company against this, and you bring in Death Shroud, and I run a Plague Burst Crawler into your Death Shroud, and I just save some CP for -1 damage, it's going to take you a long time to get through that thing. Let's have a 4-up save. I just don't care. I'll have 4-up saves, I'm halving all your damage there, and I'll half all your damage. You got to do 12 wounds onto that thing when you hit on 5s. You win it on 5s. Like, whereas before, in the other detachment, you can put it back to its 5-up in 1, because you can have -1 save, and then you can go +1 AP on it, and then you're on 5-up in 1. Chances are you one-tap the thing. So, always make a complaint. And again, I'm not doing this to be negative. Anyone that knows the channel, maybe got some new viewers there, I don't do negativity. I'm taking this to a tournament, and there will be a build, and I'll make sure I try and find it. But the question that wants to be asked is this good enough to outdo Plague Company? And personal answer for me is, it's not even close. You take away the one thing Death Guard does well, which is damage output up close, and you've given it slight durability increasing as shooting. Again, if you're against World Eaters, you got nothing. You got nothing. Like, this does nothing. Like, you get some scouts, so you can, like. But again, if people are like, yeah, but you can scout screens forward. You can just take cultists in Plague Company. They've got 6-inch scout. It's better. So the best build I can see is flood the board. Like, just flood the board and being annoying. Just 60 Poxwalkers, tons of Terminators, some Plague Marines and Rhinos. I think you just give up completely on vehicles because they just get no love on here. Nope, you lose completely X65. You lose all sticky objectives because none of our units have it innately. And you just try and just win off primary, win off some movement shenanigans and stuff like that. But I just don't think people are going to be scared. If you shove 60 Poxwalkers at someone, it's going to be annoying. But, like, they'll kill it. I think you just flood the board, which to me, like, this is the one thing that I've always, like, said is not good for, like... This is a detachment which wants you to run pure infantry up the board. You have some okay bonuses to shooting here, and you can't be stopped shooting here. Par that, you're just tagging stuff. MJ Cook, I think that is a fantastic point you've just made. I think the difference between Flyblown and Play Company is the new detachment tries to mitigate a weakness and the Play Company plays to a strength. This detachment got the people that were complaining that they don't like the fact that they can't just run tough Death Guard, pure infantry and walk across the board, and they tried to fix it. And it's not. This does not fix it. You still will die, and the worst bit is, if this army is good, it's going to be good for the wrong reason. It's going to be good because it's just annoying. You're just going to put a load of units on the board, stand over the board, take up space. Now, it's like AdMech pre-buff. The problem is AdMech also have speed. This does not. This is still slow. After that initial 5-inch scout, you're back to just being Death Guard. You move 4. One unit has a bit of extra mobility because this is great. Assault weapons is great. Par that, you are just... You just, walk across the board slowly? Like, there's just... The reason staging is so good for Death Guard, the reason getting to mid-board is so good, is because when you reach the mid-board, now almost 3/4 of the board are filled with that spicy contagion. And people who know Death Guard know if I go near that contagion and I don't kill the thing, I die. Or if they have an answer, so I come out, I kill the bloat drone, whatever comes out to punish me kills me. In this list, I just don't respect the Death Guard army because it has no output. Like, so the maximum we can stack this would be like a flying Demon Prince, which again would add durability to all, because again this wants you to run infantry, and again why doesn't this work on a Death Guard Demon Prince? Because Demon Prince wants to be ran with all infantry because it's going to give it 6 up feel no pain, and then you're going to have stealth, 6 up feel no pain, and Mythic Invigoration if you want it. That's actually kind of annoying, but the Demon Prince gets literally no benefit from any of this here. Nothing works on him because he's not infantry. Like, why is it so restrictive? Like, let's look at Play Company again. Look at the stratagems for Play Company. Look, one Death Guard unit, one Death Guard unit, one Death Guard unit, one Death Guard model, one Death Guard unit, one Death Guard unit. It can be used on anything. Anything can use the stratagems. Here, infantry only. So you're actively punishing your own list creation. If this let me use some things, like even this Eye of the Swarm, giving my vehicles pistols mean they could shoot in close combat without a -1 to be hit, which, you know, it's not bad. That's okay. That's not the worst thing in the world. It's still not great, but you know, I could shoot without penalty. Would it have been broken? No, probably not. Having a vehicle that can consolidate up to 6 inches, would that be bad? No, it actually might make some funny things with like defiles and shit like that. Like bloat drones, again, it can consolidate 6, tag something because it's got fall back, charge, shoot. It can do lots of fun things with that, which is nice. Again, reroll all hits if you're in half range. Yes, please, I'd like this on a unit of 3 Mephetic Blight Haulers who can now hit at 9. They can drive within 9 or something because that's still hard to get to. And you then hit on 3s with full rerolls with your multi-melters and your rockets. That's actually not bad anymore. That's actually like, oh, okay. That's kind of spicy, but the fact it's so limited on what it's allowed to be used on. You have 3 units. You have Plague Marines, you have Blight Lords, and you have Death Shroud. I can't even scout Chaos Spawn. If I could scout Chaos Spawn, I'd be kind of happy. Because you got a 5-inch scout and 8 HP, that's pretty good. But like... I feel like they're really trying to make like Blight Lords work by giving them like Scout, permanent -1 to be hit, access to -1 to be wounded, and does it make them more durable? Yes. Does it fix them? No. Because they're still Blight Lord Terminators. They need to be like OC2 at least to make this work. If this is working, if this detachment works, it works purely based on the fact that Blight Lord Terminators are super cheap. We can spam a lot of cheap units. You give up Mortarion in this one. I don't think you play Mortarion. I think you just bring tons of cheap crap. And you just flood the board. You go slash jail style the best you can because you're still super slow. So again, please remember, I'm not being negative. I don't like negative content. I really hate it. But this screams written by someone that doesn't play Death Guard. In the nicest way possible. This is written by someone that thinks they know what Death Guard does, and tried to make a cool attachment. And some of it's cool. Like I actually like Vermin Cloud. But the more you look at this attachment, I read it first. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I don't think it's going to be great, and it's never going to replace Plague Company. My initial reaction was doesn't replace Plague Company straight away, which is probably a sign Plague Company's too good. We shall see. But as I read it first, I was like, okay, that's cute, that's quite nice, some cool things. But the more I read it, the more I think about it, the more limited it is. Like, if this works, it's going to be work for the wrong reason, which is I'm going to walk forward with lots of cheap, annoying, tough-to-kill stuff and just say, deal with it. And then I win. That's it. If someone can deal with that, then they win. It's just a board swarmy control-y, like, but even it doesn't have all the cool shit. It doesn't have anything like, because board swarmy control-y lists have stuff like reactive moves, which again, if this had a reactive move, I'd be fucking happy. That'd be like sweet, cool. They have stuff like uppy downy now. I don't want an uppy downy. I'm not saying I want uppy downy, but it's an example of things that the board control armies do. This is an army that gets an initial burst of 5 inches, which is okay, and you're just permanently -1 to be hit. Par that, you're going to walk forward, and you're going to stand on stuff, and you're going to hope you don't die. And that's it. That's all it's got. And you're going to tag stuff. That's it, you're going to tag stuff. And if your opponent doesn't care about being tagged, you're going to have a bad time. I just wish it let me use other units as well. It's really limited on what it wants me to take. Like, again, if I think of a list, I'm like, cool, okay, I'd love to just bring like 3 Predators because it's cheap, 390 points, and just sit on my back line and they can just fire away. But if I bring them in this detachment, they get nothing. They are literally, I'm just hurting myself. You would be better bringing, you know, actually might be good in this one, weirdly, like some fucking War Dogs or something, or like Demons, because they never benefited from your rules anyway, so you're not hurting yourself doing that. And at least the War Dogs can provide some, like, actual firepower. But yeah, this is the problem. This has no rules in melee matchups at all. You have nothing. Because you don't have the output to reliably be, like, murdering units to make the most out of this piling and consolidate stuff. You have no -1 damage, you have no Skull Squirm Blight, and stealth does nothing. Literally nothing. Maybe, if this finds a home anywhere, it's going to be teams. And it's going to be teams to piss off people that have brought, like, big shooty platforms. And I'm just going to run 60 Poxwalkers, all with stealth, -1 to wound on a win whenever I want it to, and that's about it. Yeah, good point, Sierra. Even the War Dogs benefit from -1 saved contagion. It still helped them. Here, even the Brigands are worse. Everything's just worse. I am... Now, Dave seems a bit more excited than I am. But... and we are probably spoilt by Plague Company. It just... I don't know. It's so limiting. Like, let's look, like, Eye of the Swarm and Nauseating Paroxysms are already kind of niche. Innovating Onslaught is... You're paying a command point to do like 6 mortal wounds if you make a charge with a full unit. But I could just play Plague Company and kill the unit anyway. I don't know. I think you're right, Ollie. I think this is... I think, again, if you... I think if you play more casually, this is, like, fine. It's whatever. Yeah, that's what I said that before, Virtus. You won't even get the full mortal wounds off, usually. If this was old Death Guard, where we had, like, -1 damage... I can see this being like, okay. Because that then you have like the stupid level of durability. But I hate that playstyle. I hated that idea of just being, I'm really like just stupidly annoying and tough. And just standing on objectives. And the thing is, I think this is a response to a lot of people who don't like the new direction of Death Guard being debilitation. This is back to old style of slowly march across the board, taking shots, and then, you know, winning that old style way. I just don't know. This could be really annoying at low point games, though. I'll give you that. Like, 20 Poxstalkers, Typhus, plus some effect Blight Hall to give him -1 to wound. That's actually really annoying. That's actually quite funny. But at 2k, like... I want to be wrong. Don't know. I really want to be wrong. But I'm also got a bad feeling that if I'm wrong, it's going to be wrong because it's just boring walk forward nonsense that just stands there. You know what the ironic thing is? If this detachment could take the one plague, the one contagion that this doesn't, if you could take the -1 OC, -1 leadership, this actually would be like pretty fire, because then you just play an absolute primary denial game. That would actually be kind of funny. And it has playing teams. I will agree with Craig there. I think it has a decent playing teams, because you get to pick your matchups, and you can just get put into gun lines, you get all the extra durability, you get things that people like gun lines don't want to see. So you get like Vermin Cloud here, which can like tag multiple like Lehman Rushes and things like that. So against things like that, actually has some play. I just don't think the Swiss Army knife that is the Plague Companies is outdone even close, especially in singles format, than this. Now, that all being said, I am going to be playing this. I'm going to be taking this to the next event I go to, because I said I would. And we're going to see what we can do. So I have got some cooking that I need to do. I think that I'm probably going to have to borrow some Blight Lords. It's a very skew list. It's just going to be, hey, I'm going to put like 25 Blight Lords and like 12 Death Shroud, and then I'm still going to bring Rhinos for Plague Marines. I'm not giving up my Rhinos. I don't care if you give me Scout 5 or not. I'm taking Rhinos for Plague Marines. And that will be, and then like 60 Poxwalkers, and maybe a unit of Cultists to hold home. And we're just going to see how it goes. But I think like Rotagus is, yeah, I think Rotagus is actually really good in this, because again, you're looking to play primary. Plague Bearers do have Sticky, so actually we do have one access to Sticky, which would be Plague Bearers, so maybe some Plague Bearers. I agree, Epsilon, that's my worry as well. I think if this attachment ends up being good, it'll be good for the wrong reasons, and then the worst bit is if this is good because it's just stat checking people and being annoying, it'll then get units nerfed for it, which is just like, yeah. If I could scout the Rhino, I'd be happy. If I could 5 inch, like, I don't get why they exclude that. Are you scared of a Rhino scouting 5 inches? Like, I move like 8 out of it, so it's like first turn tops I get 13. Ooh, it's not that scary. I'm not making turn 1 charges. Yeah, a Land Raider with Scout, that'd be sick. That'd be so much. Again, I want the attachments to encourage experimentation, but this is so limiting. You're just like, infantry, only infantry, don't you dare take anything that isn't infantry, only infantry. I'm gonna try it. Because I said I would. Fuck it, why not? But this might be the first event I go 2 and 3. I will not lie, I do not feel confident running this. But I will give it a go, and if I do well with it, I promise you it's going to be at the expense of my opponent's absolute misery as I just stand there and be annoying. Christopher Lau, thank you very much for the $5 super chat, mate. I will bet $1 our new armor release more -1 toughness aura. I hope it is. Because -1 toughness aura just isn't impactful at the in regular stuff. Yeah, I know, Mikey. That's the thing. Other detachments get that. It's like, again, for some reason they're like really scared of making Death Guard like have that extra bit. It's like giving the scout to the Rhino would not have broke anything. It genuinely wouldn't. Like the stratagem locking and the no Rhinos being able to scout is like that is the main killer. Like if you would just allow that, it's not actually would be that bad. Yeah, I can take a Death Guard Demon Prince here and just be like 6+ feel, no pain, everything. I mean, I'll try it out. I'm just not. I am very underwhelmed. I think this was a swing and a miss from Mr. Designer at GW. I think you. I mean, have a look at. Let's have a read. As the Death Guard stride inexorably towards their foes, the battlefield thrums and buzzes with the wing beats of a trillion swollen flies. Bloated and mutated plague marines march beneath a pathogenic haze, striding forward slowly and purposefully, unleashing precise volleys of disease projectiles. The obscuring swarms foul the foe's return fire, and whatever clots of contagion their desperate shots manage to clear away are filled moments later by yet more hovering vermin. So, it is, like we said, they've tried to make a detachment for the people that whinged and complained about Death Guard not being able to just walk across the battlefield, tank a load of shots, and win. And they have made this in an effort to do that, to make those people happy. And have you ever played against someone running marine bodies? Just like JPIs or like normal dudes, intercessors, anything like that. And they have stealth. Like Raven Guard. You ever played against that? Maybe the Vanguard Task Force, okay? Have you ever shot a Vanguard Task Force? Bear in mind they get cover and stealth all the time. But if you ever shot one, you'll know one thing. They die. Pretty easily still. So, ain't gonna be no different for us. The only difference is we can put it on the slightly chunkier bodies of Terminators. And then give them -1 to wound from this thing down here. From this Blight Hauler. So, I will cook up a list. We will have another stream when Death Guard Dave and Will return from Leicester. But I think right now I am very whelmed. There is some bits of absolute gold in here. This droning chorus, beautiful. This is fantastic. Love this. I even like this thing, Vermin Cloud. I do like this. Very good. Droning Horror also very good. The rest of it I can give or take or leave it. The annoying bit about the Mythetic as well is the Mythetic Blight Hauler. Basically has to hide like a bitch all game, because you can't -1 to hit the Blight Haulers. You don't have Cloud of Flies from Plague Company. It needs to be alive when your opponent targets the infantry unit. So if you have your Blight Hauler hanging out next to them, they can just shoot and kill the Blight Hauler first and then target that unit, and you can't use the strat because the Blight Hauler is no longer there. If it was start of the phase and you could pick it and be like, yep, no matter if the Blight Hauler dies, he's puffed his smoke out the top and he's got them all hidden and safe, that would be good. But unfortunately not. So which means your Mythetic Blight Haulers are going to be reduced to hiding behind a wall. Oh, you can smoke them. Okay, but still here. You're still going to be reduced to hiding behind a wall. With your Blight Hauler. Because, I mean, if a tank commander shoots a Blight Hauler, smoke isn't really saving it. I won't lie, it's gonna die. Like, so it hides behind a wall game, so you don't really get to use the unit itself to give out -1 to wounds reliably. If you want to use the unit, you risk losing access to the stratagem, which is like one of the better ones, especially on stuff like Poxwalkers. But yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's my initial thoughts. So just before we sort of wrap this up, because again, I realise I've I realise a lot of people probably came here hyping up and like thinking I've probably just shit all over it, and I do apologise. But the one thing I always say is I'll give my honest opinion. I'm not going to be one of these people that just hates for no reason and just hypes for no reason. I think there'll be a build. There will be a build. Whether that's builds, I don't think it's going to be a fun build. I think I'd rather play Plague Company any day of the week. But I will try it. I'll let you know, because obviously you can talk the talk, but sometimes you got to walk the walk. And we're not, on this channel, we always walk the walk. We do it with the 18 Death Shroud. And now I'm going to do it with this. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, is there any like last questions or anything that people want to say? And again, if I've been too negative or anything, do let me know. I hope I've not just shit on everyone's parade. I was super excited and hyped. And like I said, the more I've read it and the more I've discussed it with you guys, and you guys have even pointed out some stuff I didn't see at first, like you can't do that on vehicles. I was like, oh, god damn it. How are you guys feeling? That's one of the things I feel at Epsilon. Any build that works with this can just work better in Plague Company. Because Plague Company can just actually slap things. Mikey, I'm going to save that announcement for when Will and Dave are back, if that's okay, because we're going to do a big proper stream when that comes along, mate. This is more like an ad hoc thrown together one. I've got a plan for it though. I've got a plan for it, Mikey. Don't worry. Yeah, I think if you are the kind of person that wants to play more like in a casual way, is to just run a big horde, walk it across the table, and be kind of tough to kill, you can 100% do that. I just wish it didn't make me want to lose all my vehicles. If it just gave the bonus to vehicles or something, that would be nice. If it give, or just let me use the strats on vehicles, that would also be nice. Like 4 heroes to hit on, like I said, a unit of 3 blight haulers. It makes me want to take them in big units, things like that. Yeah, it'll be fun. That's the main thing. It'll be nice to try something different. So like I said, I'm going to try it, and I think a lot of us are still going to try it regardless, because I still want to play something new. I do want to try it. A 1-250 game could be great for the detachment, because again, there's just that at those low point games, like all the extra stuff there can really like pump up stuff, which is nice. I'm going to give it a go, 100%. We'll get cooking. We'll do a stream where we'll cook up a list for the Flyblown host. I just think. And again, don't remember when we talk about it, I'm talking about it from a competitive view and like wanting to try and get the best top tables I can. I don't think it's gonna cut the bread, and if it does, it'll be in a sort of way where it's like, this is probably not the greatest thing for the game. If anyone's playing against ARGHHH at all, it's gonna feel like that, just with less speed. And if anyone's lost against ARGHHH, it can feel really frustrating, because it's like, you've done nothing to me, ARGHHH player, and he's like, yet the scoreboard says I win. That's kind of how it feels. But I mean, it is very true to Death Guard lore. I just don't think it's. I don't think the idea of Plague Marines marching across the board is gonna play out. I think you should try and walk Plague Marines with Verminous Haze up, they still die. Terminators can do it. Terminators love this. This is great for Terminators. But Plague Marines, I'm pretty sure you're gonna. I'm pretty sure you're gonna still want to chuck them in a Rhino for it. But I'm not overly hyped on it. But I am happy we have something. I'm happy we have something else to play. So we're gonna give it a whirl. We're gonna see how it goes, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe like just the absurd amount of Terminators, because we are. The one thing we've got to remember is there is a points change coming up that will dictate a lot. But if we stay as stupidly cheap as we are now, we could just do this because we are stupidly cheap. And it's not a great way to be. It's not great to be good because you're stupidly cheap, but it has been happened before. So we shall see. But I mean, let's find out. Let's see how we can make it work. We'll have a list building stream. I'm gonna get cooking some stuff up. I'm probably gonna run Blight Lords again though. That is one thing. I will try Blight Lords again. I'm gonna probably put drone in chorus on them, just so they can move advanced shoot. I'm gonna load them up on combi weapons, and I'm gonna shove a lot of virulence in there. And we're just gonna reroll all hits, reroll all wounds with assault weapons, and see what magic we can make happen there. So we shall see. But yeah, for now, everyone, probably gonna head off for now. It's cool we have something new to play with. We'll say that for sure. Let's see how it goes. If you remember, start cooking up some lists. I'd like to see what you guys think about this. And overall, let's at least be happy we got something new. Let's at least be happy we have something to tide us over. And let's hope going forward We get something maybe a little bit more well designed. I don't know. Yeah, 30 Wild Times and 18 Death Shroud. That's the thing, Sam. It's just like, I guess you could run that, but at the same time, just like, does that not just work better in Plague Company? Does it not? Nope, Hellbrutes are not getting used. Hellbrutes aren't seeing any play in this detachment. Hellbrutes literally are far worse in this attachment, like not even close. Like Hellbrute, you could make a point for in Plague Company. You never bring one in Flyblown Host ever. Sorry. Yeah, I have 60 Poxwalkers, so that's the thing. I will have fun with my Poxwalker spam again. I'll have a reason to put them on the table. So we'll see how it goes. So I will scout some Poxwalkers forward with -1 to be hit, -1 to be wounded permanently, and we will have a laugh with that one. But for now, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you all on the next one. Keep an eye open. It'll be a list building with Dave and Will for this attachment specifically. And we'll see you all on the next episode. Stay right, everybody. And again, sorry if I was a bit over negative there. I was just trying to be my honest opinions. And I am very passionate about Death Guard, as you can tell. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. See you later, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, I'll put some tunes on as well. Why not? Bye.
In the shadow of decay I rise, Typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With Nurgle's rot I lay worlds to waste. The Reaper's scythe, no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of Death God, where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of Death God, where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of Death God, where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Blameless howl, the gassing walls. Vigilant tides, new life is born. Nurgle's policy, a twisted grace. I erase your heart in my golden grace. Fear the plague fleet, fear the end. No salvation, no let to defend. I am Typhus, reaper of dread. Bow to Nurgle, embrace the dead. flies, the crag will burn, the pure will fall. Mortarian's wrath will consume them all. Ultimately pride crumbled in the dust. Your emperor's light can't stop the rust. Disease and rot are your final breath. Now kneel before the reaper's death. I am the plague, I am the rot, the end of all that you forgot. You fought for hope, you fought for life. Now your shiny world slowly dies. From the skies I bring despair. Your warrior choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarian's plague, watch its glory dies. The reaper falls to a run of sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. Blue and gold, once proud, once bright, now swallowed whole by endless night. I am decay, and I will feast. Your chapter falls beneath my feet. Gleaming suns will face my wrath. In every breath, your lungs turn black. Your noble heart, I turn to ash in my shadow. Your hopes will crack. I am the plague, I am the rot, the end of all that you forgot. You fought for hope, you fought for life. Now your shiny world slowly dies. From the skies I bring despair. Your warrior choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarian's plague, watch its glory dies. The angel falls, your running sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. My crown, what's the truth of the stars? Now lies broken, tainted with my scars. I am your doom, your final breath. Mortarian comes, delivering death. From the skies I bring despair. Your warrior choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarian's plague, watch its glory dies. The angel falls, your runner sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. Buried by my hand. You fall, you fall. My crown is buried by my hand.
From the shadow depths of a broken heart, the corpses twitch and come alive. This crimson plague, it feeds on fear as the bodies drop and it draws us near. Our skin is crawling, something's inside. Internal organs liquefied. Death God's gift, a twisted fate. No escape for me, yeah, it's too late. No goal comes except your fate. And won't stop. The hive's infected, it's too late. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive will consume when it's sick disease. Our souls corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking pox now takes its bite. The walking pox now takes its bite. Run the rod, run the rod. Walking pox now takes its bite. Lungs are burning, pox fills the air. You scream for help, but no one cares. Bones are breaking, bodies twist. The death guard's gift, death's toxic kiss. Pale eyes stare with a hollow glare. They're gone but shambling, lost somewhere. This hive is his, disease and bloom. No light survives in this darkened tomb. Then no comes except your fate. And won't stop. The hive's infected, it's too late. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive will consume when it's sick disease. Our souls corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking pox now takes its bite. The walking pox now takes its bite. You'll feel it settle deep inside. There's no cure, nowhere to hide. You breathe me in, you can't escape. I am the plague, I am your fate. watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive will consume by this sick disease. The soul's corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite.